Hey everyone. As we know, on January 7th, Mark Zuckerberg announced that his Meta platforms would no longer have fact checking. This was too much for me because already I had seen a rise in extremism, body shaming, and bullying. And as a person who really works to live with integrity and in alignment with my core values, that was going away from my values of growth and connection. So on January 16th, I deleted my accounts. And I knew it was going to be hard because I had developed, like most people, an addiction to social media. And we don't tend to think of these platforms as addictive, but they are because we keep going back to them, and they have an algorithm that keeps us circulating through the feeds time and time again. And so I knew that I was going to go through a process of detoxing off of Facebook and Instagram. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what my journey is going to be and how it's already gone in the first 24 hours. Now, coincidentally, at the time of this recording, TikTok is scheduled to be shut down in America and banned tomorrow. And so there will be millions of people going through a detox. So my hope is that this video finds you and you get some ideas on how to get real with what the feelings are that are happening when you don't have access to these platforms and what you can do about it. So the first thing I did when I knew I was going to delete my Facebook account and my Instagram account, and I wasn't on TikTok, so that was not an issue for me. But the first thing that I did was I texted 3 good friends. And I said, as you know, I'm deleting my accounts. Can you be my accountability partner? So if I feel a need for connection, I can text you. They all said yes. Now, I made sure that one of them was a friend who lives in the same town that I live in, because I knew that if it got really bad and I needed that connection with the person, that I could get in touch with her and we could meet up, because she's always up to go for a walk or a run or get a cup of tea, do some yoga together, whatever. So I needed to have a friend in my town to help me through this journey. So my first tip to you is find your friends, your true friends, people that you can be vulnerable with. And when you're feeling lonely or feeling like you need to connect with something or you're just bored, you can reach out to them. So yesterday was my first full day without Facebook and Instagram, and it was really interesting. Now, thankfully, I am a woman who meditates, so I have a pretty good connection with myself. I'm very self-aware, and I noticed a couple of times at work, especially more in the afternoon, as I had been there for at least 6 hours, I was grabbing my phone and just scrolling through different apps. For no particular reason. It was clearly a habit that my body had picked up the phone and circulated through different apps. I looked at my email, I looked at my text messages, I looked at sometimes my banking app, I looked at the New York Times, just kind of poking at apps to see a new screen appear, which I knew was feeding this habit of these pixelated bright images popping up on my screen before me that I could interact with, which is what these platforms are doing. Now, we know that these social media apps are addictive. There's been lots of studies that have shown this, because when we get this new source of information and this interaction with these devices, it signals a dopamine response, this pleasure hormones chemical, and it keeps us on there. But when I caught myself circulating through these apps, I said, what am I doing? I am not getting anything of substance right now. Put your phone away, get back to work. And so that's what I did, and it was fine. But when I got home and had my dinner and was just sitting on my couch, ready to relax, that's when it got real. And I knew this would happen. And this is what's going to end up happening for a lot of people, especially when TikTok is no longer available. What do you do with yourself when you can't distract yourself with the scrolling reels? So once again, I found myself, scrolling through the apps. And I felt like a tiger in the cage. Now, biomechanist Katie Bowman, whose work I genuinely admire, once said in an interview that the social media apps create this feeling of like being a lion in a cage or a tiger in the cage, where you're a wild animal and you're meant to move and have different experiences and live through your senses, but you're confined to a cage. And so if you go to the zoo, you see them kind of roaming the perimeter of where they're stuck. And the apps are doing that to us. We're only circulating through this limited experience that we've signed up for, but that's all we get, without realizing that there is a world out there for us to experience with people in it that we can be connecting with. So I know this, yet still I was bored in going through the apps. So what I did with that information was say, okay, I know at the root of this boredom, it's loneliness. It's feeling a lack of creativity. It's feeling tired. It's craving connection with another person who I feel gets me. So this is something that I noted for myself, and I said, okay, this is what we need to work on. How do we stay creative to combat the boredom? How do we meet new people in real life, not through a phone, but in real life? Where do you go? What places share my core values of connection, growth, fun, movement? Where can I go to inspire that, where I can meet people who share the same values that I have? Because that is what's going to heal this craving energy that I felt like the apps were satisfying, but they were not. And so lo and behold, today a friend texted me and said, hey, I have an extra ticket to the lacrosse game. It's a professional lacrosse game. Do you want to go? Now, I don't know a thing about lacrosse. I've never watched the game. I don't normally go to sporting events, but of course I said yes. Because here it is. It's an event where people are celebrating movement. It's a team effort. So you've got that community connection, and I get to be with a friend of mine. So my second tip for you, after you've identified what's at the root of that endless scrolling through your phone, and if you identify there's boredom, that is loneliness, the need for a connection, take the opportunities for real life connection that come your way, because they will open up a whole new world to you. And that is what I am going to do tonight. And I hope that you subscribe to the channel and see what comes next for me, because I will be documenting my detox off of social media with the hope that you get some ideas on how you can detox as well, and we can be a more connected world together. So give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below on what are you going to do, what's your strategy to detox off these platforms, and I hope to see you next time. Good luck.